What's going on, everyone? Rob the Ram Jet fan here. Just want to take a quick minute to talk about all the Michael Fleur noise going on right now. Um, First off, for us Jets fans, when it rains, it pours. For the past 50 some odd years, Jets and Jets fans alike have just been stuck in this muddy rut that we just can't get out of. It just seems like we can't get out of our own way. Same old Jets. Nothing really changes. So in case you haven't heard, there was an article that came out about Mike LaFleur and about that whole situation, and also the situation between him and Elijah Moore, where we heard earlier in the season that him and Elijah Moore had gotten into a little spat. Some things were said. Elijah Moore was sent home. Later that day, he requested a trade, and as we all know, for a few weeks afterwards, he wasn't alive in this Jets offense. He wasn't thrown to. He wasn't featured at all. Braxton Berrios was taking all of the snaps, and it kind of left a lot of us, including myself, wondering what really happened. What was really said. Why wasn't Elijah Moore featured at all? Especially being the explosive playmaker that he is, one of our second best receiver next to Garrett Wilson, and it seemed kind of funny to a lot of us, like say, including myself. It just seemed like there was more to the story, but nothing else really came out. Well, it was said in this article that what was said was Elijah Moore during a spat with Michael LaFleur told him to basically go F yourself and that you suck. And hearing that now, obviously most of us would probably agree with that Michael LaFleur did suck. He's probably the only person in the league that can operate the most QB friendly, wide receiver friendly, just weapons friendly in general system in the entire league. So with that being said, is that the reason why Elijah Moore is kind of blacklisted? Mike Fleur, heard that, couldn't really handle it, and just pushed him off to the side. Well, it was also stated in this article that Michael Fleur is making just route concepts and everything, just play calling a lot harder than it had to be. With one former receiver saying that he's been in multiple different systems, multiple different teams, and what Mike LaFleur would do is he would name different routes, name the same route, give it different names based on the concept. This former player said that he's never experienced that before. Things were just made harder than it had to be. He also supposedly told Zach Wilson, if your first and second read aren't there, just run, which would that explain a lot of, Zach Wilson bailing out of the pocket too early, running backwards too early. It was also stated that he was kind of bad-mouthing Zach a little bit, telling other people that the system operates a lot better when Zach's not in there, with guys like Josh Johnson, Mike White, Joe Flacco, which is true, but at the same time, you don't want to hear your play caller bad-mouthing your quarterback, your hopeful franchise quarterback. And, on another note, isn't it Michael LaFleur and Rob Calabrese's job to develop Zach? So if he's getting worse and the system operates better under other people, other quarterbacks, isn't that an indictment on you? You're the one who's supposed to be developing him, introducing him into a system in which he's comfortable, putting him in the best position possible to make good reads, make good throws, and you could obviously see that wasn't happening. Also, an indictment on Rob Calabrese. I know he's the quarterback coach, but what does he do? You never heard his name. You never heard about him. What was he doing at all? With Calabrese and LaFleur not being on the same page as Zach, and really the whole offense. That really just that makes a whole lot of sense hearing it now, because you saw at the end of the season when we went on the 6-game losing streak, could only muster up 11 points. That things just weren't clicking. We as fans could see it clear as day. Just things were not looking easy. This offense should run so much smoother, so much better, and it wasn't happening. This team just never looked in sync. They always looked off, and it was it frustrated everyone, and it's just mind-boggling. Um, I think this is a huge indictment on LaFleur, but also Saleh as well. You as the head coach, to me right now, it just seems like he knew what was going on. There's no way you didn't know any of this was going on, especially when it was being made public to other people within the organization and players as well. There's no way you knew what was going on. You didn't know what was going on. So to me, Saleh knew what was going on and refused to do anything about it. Didn't make any changes because he's best friends with Mike LaFleur. Kind of just seems like, you know, Saleh is just, that's his friend. That's his best friend's little brother. So he's going to stick with him no matter what. He's refused to make changes. Um, and Michael Fleur losing the locker room like that, I think with this coming out, I think kind of shows that Saleh was kind of losing the locker room a little bit too. And how many times did we see bad penalties on the Jets, especially on defense? And now you have this coming out where you have Michael Fleur and Elijah Moore going back and forth like that. Saleh should have, put his foot on that and stopped it. You know, Michael Fleur bad mouthing Zach, which, like I said, Zach is not innocent. He played horribly this year. He regressed, but that is also on the OC and quarterback coach for his regression. So why didn't Saleh step in and say, no, we're not doing that? Bring in another quarterback, bring in a different quarterback coach, do something. It just doesn't seem like Saleh really cared all that much. Like I said, that's his best friend's little brother, and the fact that all this went on, Saleh knew about it, and then fought to keep Michael LaFleur here when he knew he didn't have the locker room. He knew the offense didn't like him. It just makes no sense. Like I said, it's just the same old Jets, man. You talk about changing the culture. This isn't how you change the culture. This is what bad cultures do. This is what the Jets have been doing for the past 50 plus years, and we just can't get out of our own way. This also falls on JD. As good as he's been, when your coaches are losing the locker room like this, if your head coach is refusing to make changes, you have to step in and make those changes for the betterment of the team. And JD didn't do that, and that's extremely disappointing. I like JD. I have high hopes for JD, but it's just disappointing, man. And like I said, that it's about, they want to preach changing the culture. Well, when you have stuff like this going on, it doesn't change the culture. And then this stuff gets out. You have players talking, you have coaching staff talking, you have other personnel talking, and it's like, well, what OC can you realistically get at this point? Who's going to want to step into that? What OC is going to want to step in and have to rebuild the culture in that locker room, want to regain the trust of the locker room for the staff? A task like that, there's a million OC vacancies, few head coaching vacancies open in the league. So I don't know. With this coming out, to me, it doesn't make the Jets look like a very tasteful destination. Yeah, you have the weapons. Woody already said we're going to get a quarterback. Well, he's going to spend the money to get a quarterback. If not having good players is one thing, but when your culture, this is your culture, this is what's going on in your locker room, it makes it a lot harder to get players and coaches in here, man. And this is just disappointing because this team started off so hot. They look so good. It finally looked like a change of pace for the Jets. That they turn the corner. They're going to start winning, and then the complete meltdown happens, and now this comes out, and it sucks, man. It just sucks. When is this finally going to change? When is this culture going to change? I don't think Saleh is the guy at this point to do that. You can point to, yeah, well, he won more games. He won 7 games. Yeah, he also should have won probably 10 or 11 games. He should have won more games. This team is way too talented. The expectations were low. as they should have been, because you're coming off 2 and 4 win seasons, but then you bring in that huge influx of talent. You expect them to be better. So just to say, oh well, the team did better. We won more games than we did last year. That's not good enough, man. It's not good enough, because now you're losing the locker room. Now your culture hasn't changed. It, oh, he also, like I said, he also should have won more games. They had that complete meltdown. Nothing was changed. We kept doing the same old crap. That's on the coach. That's on coaching. Not being prepared. That's on coaching. Terrible clock management. That's on coaching. Poor situational awareness, if there is any situational awareness, that's on coaching. And that regressed. Just as much as Zach regressed, all of that regressed as well. And that's not on the players. That's on the coaching. So, I mean, the question is, where do we go from here? Like I said, what OC is going to want to come in here and take that on? I think that's why they're casting such a broad net. Guys like Caley from the Patriots, who's supposedly this great offensive mind, but when the Patriots had a horrible offense all year, they didn't bother to, see what he could do for that. But he's great. Everyone else is just stupid if they don't want him. A lot of what would be first time coordinators, positional coaches, assistant coaches, stuff like that. And it's, I don't know. There's just add this to the list of questions going into this offseason, and it's a kick in the nuts, man. Like, it's just like, when are us Jets fans gonna finally have that break? When are the Jets finally going to look competent? And it just doesn't look like the end is, near anytime soon, and it just sucks. But that's all I got for you today. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at @random_JetsFan. Sorry I haven't been posting really. Newborn baby, school started, so it's just been nonstop the past week or so. So I'm trying, but like I said, that's all I got for you today. And have a good one, and go Jets.